Profanity Nation.
Yeah, it's the new era of man for some old school fans with a new school brand. We got money on the mic with the plan in hand. And Stat Pat to his left, they go hand in hand. And to the right, we got Simpster, he putting it down. It's the Profanity Nation, we running the town. Yeah,
It's the Profanity Nation.
Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to the Profanity Nation podcast. You know it. We are the voice of the professional fan. We are joined in the studio. Of course, I have my buddy here, Money Mike. How you feeling, Mr. Money Mike?
Man, I'm good, man. You know, it's a sad day.
Yes.
Bill Russell, man, you know, it's sad, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Talk about the impact he put on the league and probably compare him with a couple people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Stat Pat's in the house.
Yes, sir, man.
How you doing, Mr. Stat Pat?
Everything's good, man. I'm good. Happy to be here. Like I said, R.I.P. Bill Russell. Even though he was a Celtic, he was a great athlete, and I mean, more importantly, just a great human being and a black icon. So, I mean, I'm really happy about we're going to be able to talk about what's going on with his life.
Absolutely. All right. Now, I want to introduce our guest. This is someone y'all are going to get to know very well. This is Mr. Tastebudz right here. Mr. Tastebudz has a new show coming out that you're going to see right here on Infinity Studios channel. But Mr. Tastebudz is also cooking up some hot food, some sweet ass food. How you doing, Mr. Tastebudz?
Man, I'm doing all right. Man.
Yeah.
You know, I can't complain, man.
Thanks for joining us, man. We've been wanting to get you here for some time, so we really appreciate it.
Hey, I just got a question. Have y'all ever heard of a gumbo burrito?
No.
Hey, you got to go to where? 103rd and
Avalon.
103rd Avalon?
Pull up to the Pop-Outs, man. 103rd and Avalon, Los Angeles, California, right across from Superior.
So we doing it like that? We getting gumbo burritos?
Man, and I go crazy in
Oh,
kitchen,
okay.
man. I ain't gonna even lie to you.
Okay.
Everything I put out is exclusive, my own recipes, authentic. I cook like moms, you know what I'm saying? Like G-moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Your story is amazing. Absolutely. And how you got to where you are, the evolution, the journey. We're going to get there in a second because it's super interesting, but we have to tackle this situation today, of course. The NBA world lost a legend. Bill Russell passed away today, aged 88 years old, and living legend, no doubt about it, until
Definitely.
Sorry. Bill Russell was nothing but class, full of sportsmanship. He was a great icon, a great role model, a great mentor. What do you start with you, Stat? What were you thinking as soon as you heard the news?
When I hear it, eventually you knew it was. I mean, we're getting at the age where a lot of our heroes are going to start passing away, and so, you kind of like, in your life, your grandparents, passing away now at this time in your life. And so now I'm thinking about all the people, and Bill Russell was always one of those guys that I'm thinking, well, maybe, it's going to happen. And unfortunately it did. But when it comes to his life and what he meant for the game of basketball, I mean, one thing about Kobe Bryant is looked up to Bill Russell. And Bill Russell loved Kobe Bryant because it kind of reminded him of players that he played against in his era. Like Kobe was kind of like a throwback to him. So he was always there to, mentor Kobe Bryant. But then there's like this picture out there that's been floating around right now. It's an iconic picture. It's the picture where it's like, I think it's Jim Brown, Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and unfortunately, I'm the other fourth guy that was on the picture. And it was just his impact on just black athletes and how they were able to be, he started, just walkouts. People were not being, but two teams, like it was against the Atlanta Hawks, and they were in Kentucky, and so supposedly they didn't want to serve the black athletes. He said, we'll all walk out, and they all walked out, and he was able to do that as a black man in the '60s, and man, that was very powerful, man. So
yeah,
it's just a really,
yeah. I will say this, man. Look, this is the first and only time I'm going to give a compliment to anybody that's connected to the Celtics. So here we go. Shout out to Red Auerbach. Right. Red Auerbach, we know, man, I hate that dude.
Yeah, he was hard. He was hard.
But I'm going to tell you, Red Auerbach wanted to win. And he was the first one to integrate black athletes because it was more important for them to win than all the racism and stuff that was going on in the 60s. So, if it wasn't for Ray Auerbach, and obviously Bill Russell was one of them, and we'll talk more about that, we probably wouldn't have been integrated like we are right now. Or it would have taken now. It would have taken longer.
The barriers that Bill Russell broke down. First black coach in the NBA, player coach.
Player coach, though.
Player coach.
People don't realize that.
Yeah. Player coach.
Last two rings, he was the coach.
He was the
Celtics
coach
while he was winning rings.
Putting myself in.
I'm putting myself in.
Exactly.
My rotations.
Exactly. Mad skills right there.
Hey, let me ask you, Tastebudz, what would you do if you was a coach? How many minutes would you give yourself a game?
Of course, I need to play the whole game. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm Kobe. I'm not coming out.
Exactly. But you got to pace yourself.
Yeah, right. You coach it too, man. So
but
bro, just give me to the fourth quarter. I'll play the fourth quarter.
Exactly. Keep me fresh.
Y'all didn't do it right. You know what I'm saying? Let me do it now. I can see that.
I'd like to circle back to, I think, last week's episode where we were talking about, actually, I think it was Monday Night Fredo, to be honest with you, talking about Jerry West. And Jerry West was commenting on JJ Redick's comments that Jerry West and players of that era played against plumbers and such. So basically putting them down. That's not untrue. But these players that played back then had to do that to make a living. Playing basketball did not pay them the millions of dollars. So I'll ask you this. Let's go to you, Mr. Tastebudz. Okay. Is it harder to get up, to put your heart into something that the city that you're playing in absolutely despises you because you're black, to the point where they break in your house and shit in your bed while you're playing the games? Okay. You have to go in the summer and get side jobs just to make a living. But you're still putting your heart and soul into this game. That's more than athletes do today. If they don't get enough money, they'll sit out. They won't even play. Right. Russell and the athletes of those days, they played regardless of the money.
I think it's more because, like you said, it's the heart. See, a lot of people, when they put their heart into things, it's different. It's like art. Artists, sometimes they don't get paid for years. They just paint and paint and paint. Picasso painted forever before they actually figured him out and he was somebody, you know what I mean? So I think it was way harder because they had to be dedicated. They didn't have no real motivation, but the love game itself.
But the love. They played simply for the love. Yeah, Mike, you're all about heart.
Yeah, I'm always heart over talent.
Exactly.
Because the heart is what gets you in the practice and what gets you working when ain't nobody looking at you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Everybody want when the lights come on, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But like Mr. Tastebudz, he was saying, man, I'm cooking all the time, man. All that dude was talking to me about was cooking. I gotta go home and cook, and I gotta go do this.
It's a passion.
You know what I mean?
It really is serious. I wake up in the morning like I'm not just hungry. I'm hungry to feed people. It's weird. Like I'm ready to. They gotta try this. You gotta taste this. Like. You got to smell the kid. I'm still waiting for them to invent something where you can smell stuff.
Then it's over, right?
The smell. Look, watch this. I bet
then it's over.
It's the heart that you put in.
It's the passion.
Everything, because that's what makes you get up. I get up in the morning. If I didn't get up, who gonna get me up?
Yeah,
it's me. I get up because I have a heart for it and the passion, like for the game.
Yeah,
people that
and it's past money. We all have to make money. We all have to pay bills, but it's beyond that. Right. It's a passion. It's a love. None of us are.
See,
okay, let me say
you need to stop that.
I'm not a LeBron
because he does have. No, I was just saying he needs to stop that because
he do it.
No. Yeah, you heard the Jerron. It's like buzzwords.
Okay, hey, you said you were not a LeBron fan. Go ahead.
No. You said that. Wait. I'm not a LeBron fan, but look,
no, you said that, right? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
I'm not.
Okay. Guess what? For the record, he's not.
For the record, he said he's not LeBron.
I respect the talent and I respect the heart because no matter what nobody say, he practiced a lot to do this.
Exactly.
That's what made Kobe great because they said when they out partying, they celebrating. He was in the gym, and you can't fake that. Because I might look weird, like, oh, you want to be in the gym? Yeah, I'm doing this every time. I did want to go out. No, I'm in the gym. That's the heart. LeBron has to have that because that's why he plays at elite. Of course, he's like
for so long
6 foot 1,000. You know, I said 6'20" and all that, 6'10", but
he's a freak athletically.
Yeah, he's 50,
but you still have to have the drive.
To practice that hard. He gets up and he's despised in his city and his other towns, and he plays through all that. Talk about his hairline through everything. That's hard to play through.
Don't
For
mention
real.
the fact that he's
For real.
never been on TMZ for anything bad. He's never
Right.
been in any scandals.
Yeah.
That's real.
Hold on,
honestly-
wait. What are we doing?
Why did we get here? Because we're
Yeah,
talking
it's
about
all good.
passion.
The heart, the
Money.
passion. Or we could talk about Jordan. You know what I'm saying? He was
Yeah.
practicing. He was balling.
Nah, this fool,
Like,
like,
Look, all right, look, I'm
He's
gonna let y'all
like-
have it. Hey, can we talk about how great Bill Russell was?
Yeah, we can get back to
You
Bill
know
Russell.
what I mean? Let's do a couple comparisons. LeBron went 8 in a row, right, to the finals, right? Stat
yes,
pat.
yes.
You know what I mean? What was his record?
We went 8 in a row. In those times, in those 8, I want to say there was a lot of losses to Cleveland.
A lot of losses.
Probably 3 and 5, maybe 4, like 3 and 5.
Yeah, so Bill Russell went 8 in a row too, right?
Yeah.
What was his
I
record?
mean, it's 8-0.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah, I'm just saying.
I mean,
Ooh.
I just want to make sure.
you know,
Yeah.
I just want to make sure.
Your point?
My point
He was
is,
playing against plumbers.
Oh, yeah.
well, no,
No.
I would say this. I was saying like,
no,
okay,
No,
but
real
I
talk,
mean,
yeah, side job.
No.
give the guy. I mean, it's like, and Bill Russell can't take away from anything Bill Russell's done. However, Bill Russell did play with Hall of Famers. Now we can call about what we're talking about, and yes, the era was maybe because it was small, it didn't have a lot of teams, but the people that were on his team, like Havlicek, like the Bob Cousy's,
Mhm.
like he did play with KC Jones, he did play with Don Nelson, he did play with all these people, and all these people are Hall of Famers, all of them. No, I'm just rattling them off. Hall of Famers. Now a lot of them got Hall of Fame because they were 5-0.
With Russell.
With Russell, right? You know what I'm saying? They got 4 rings.
But it's a
With Russell.
5-person team.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a one-man team.
Yeah.
That shows.
You can't do it
So, so
That shows what he was
when I'm looking at, yes, they got 8-0, but give me anybody that's a bomb, GOAT of all time, and give me 4 Hall of Famers. You barely get 2. You barely be lucky to get 1 Hall of Famer next to you to go in there. Jordan had Pippen and Rodman.
Hey,
You know what I'm saying?
But LeBron always calls up at least 2 Hall of Famers.
But he what?
to play with him.
But when he Hall of Famers in
And-
the prime,
and-
the only ones he did Hall of Fame in the prime are Wade and Bosh. But Kyrie was already on the team. So I mean, and he pretty much Kyrie became a Hall of Famer while he was with LeBron. It wasn't like Kyrie was a Hall of Famer before LeBron. He was
Well,
barely
he
here's my
called
question.
over Davis. so
Here's my question: can we at least make the playoffs when you have Hall of Famers on your team?
you should.
yes.
Because I mean, Lakers had 4 Hall of Famers, including LeBron.
Sure.
We couldn't make the playoffs.
No, you should. No question.
I mean, we couldn't make the 10th seed.
Can
And-
I get
and-
can, before we go
before we
there,
divulge
can,
this.
can Anthony Davis play 65 games though?
Yeah, I
Let
mean,
that be the criteria before we judge a
all
team.
right, cool. Well, you know what?
I would like that first.
Okay.
All right.
So we'll keep this on track. There's been a lot of legends. Like you said, it's going to get around that time as we get older in age. Obviously, our icons that we watched when we were young are also getting older in age. So, like you said, 88 passed in his sleep with his wife by his side. So it's a beautiful thing. The player that Russell was when he played, none of us saw that, right, with our eyes. Of course
Right.
not. But the player he was, I actually think was eclipsed by the post player he became. And the I don't know, the focal of the league. I mean, the trophies named after him, the
Yeah.
MVP trophy. I mean, and the way he carried himself, the respect, that he garnered, how humble
Yeah.
he always appeared, never appeared cocky, never appeared, always humble. Kobe loved him. We know that. I just think he did so much for the game just by sticking around. The legends that stick around like that and mentor the younger, it's just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
he's beloved, 100%, and we have known us all our life. Pretty much, he was retired.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we've all lived through his post career, and there was not a bad word said by anybody that came after him about Bill Russell.
Nope.
And so
Yeah.
that's when I'm like, when you talk about somebody's legacy and them being a humanitarian and just being just a great person. Yes, I mean you could see that with him, and then you wish everybody kind of like would gracefully go out like he has, you
Yep.
know. And so yeah, it's a sad day in the sports.
Yeah, well, guess see, like what's so great about him, we have to make sure that we, make this clear. He was playing. He had to fight two different, right? I mean, this guy had to try to fight racism as well as being a Hall of Fame player
in his hometown.
In his hometown. Like, can you imagine that?
East
like,
Coast, not
psychologically,
even the South.
No, but
Not
think
yet,
about-
It's not even the South.
Yeah.
But-
It's not even
but-
the South.
Where you expect?
You know what I'm saying?
They just really don't like
Boston.
you.
Yeah,
you like,
but-
What are you
but-
talking about? The birth of
but-
the Revolutionary War, Boston? Like,
what's so
really don't like
crazy?
me
What's so
personally,
crazy about it though? If you think about it though, what's so crazy about it is those 48 minutes, everybody cheering on him for him.
yeah,
You know what I mean? They cheering for him. They want to win. They're happy and excited. And then after the game was over, he's just a regular old, you know what?
right.
You know,
Right.
and he had to fight that. I mean, to the point that a lot of people don't even know this, that when they wanted to retire his number, he refused to show up for the retirement. He said that he wanted a private ceremony with his people between Red Auerbach and all them because he didn't want to go back to Boston. He hated Boston that much because of how they treated him.
Yeah.
When they went to go retire his
Yeah.
number, he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
And he was not there. Can you imagine that?
And yet he never vocally put him
Nope.
down. He
Never did
he
that.
Kept it. He just chose his own path. He never went and said, Boston is this, that. He had every reason to tout everything. He never did. He never did. He also never, held up Boston as more than they were. He's not a Paul Pierce, the truth. Going, it was always facts. It was always truth. And to be honest with you, after he stopped playing, you didn't even know he was a Celtic unless you knew.
Right.
He didn't share that. He didn't,
Yeah.
other than that's because that was his record. You really wouldn't know. Kobe, Laker for life.
Right.
Magic, Laker for life. But Bill, even though, he was there, he didn't tout it that way.
Yeah, he did.
I don't remember him ever wearing Celtics gear. But
There's
maybe
one
that's
picture
why.
that he had one that was like he was with Kobe. He had a Celtics hat on while he was with Kobe, and Kobe had his Laker gear on. So it was cool to see kind of like him talking to Bill Russell in a way where he's like, I'm gonna get your guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I respect you, but I gotta get your guys. You know what I'm saying? And so it's funny when we were talking about Bill Russell having to deal with that in his hometown. It's almost like now that Boston wants to claim him now, so it feels weird. It's almost kind of like when back in the day, like in 1932 Olympics, and it was we're in Berlin, and we're like, okay, well, we got this black guy, he's fast as shit, but we don't really call him American. Okay, for purposes of being just American, we might as well make Jesse Owens an American. Or we'll go ahead and do that with Joe Louis and make him an American too. You know what I'm saying? First time black men were called Americans, not black people, in history, and that was because it was out of the self-interest of America.
Self-interest, exactly.
Same thing with coming to Boston. It's like revisionist history. Now all of a sudden he's beloved in Boston. Like, what are you saying right now? Like, you were 50 years ago, you were trying to basically almost burn a cross on his lawn. You know what I'm saying?
How do you maybe turned a wrong path?
You know what I'm saying?
He might not still be here.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
it's so wild right now that people change
it
like that.
Yeah, it was
The
a
switch
very
up is
hateful
wild.
town.
And those are the people I'll be like, we really respect, like my generation, just me personally, like those are the GOATs I look up to. Those are GOATs. See, because right now it's a lot of people in the league that can do what they do and they can play a sport, but it's hard to actually have that mental mindset to be dealing with the negativity. Like Mike, like you was telling me, like some of the stuff I was hearing, like, cause I'm up on it, like with Bill, and shout out to his family. My condolences, a real GOAT, a real great from all generations. But it's like, it's hard to do that. Can you imagine? Even for me right now, I feel like I'm the toughest. But if I came outside, they like going out,
dude.
And then I gotta go play basketball with the same. They stay
for real.
me, like they stay by me, and it's really hard to. It rears me up in the inside, to be honest. Like, cause it's like that's cold. Cause he couldn't even show his hand. Like Jackie Robinson. Can you imagine they throwing stuff at you when you come in?
Yeah.
But they want you to play.
Yeah.
Like that. That don't even make sense. So
And it's so strange.
That's dope. Yeah, because you're having mixed feelings. We're only human at the end of the day, literally. Right. So I got people like, no. And now they like, yeah. You like, y'all like me or not?
You know what I'm saying?
Like, you know what's so weird?
I'm scared.
But let me ask you, Tastebudz, because we've been talking for about a month or so.
Yeah.
And I love my conversations with you, man. One thing you told me about your food is that you say everybody break bread, it's all love. It's all love, right? So let me ask you, got all these people, man, they call you all types of names. What you cooking them? You try to you gon'
Still cooking your best.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. What you cooking them?
Still
What you cooking them?
Now you asked them.
Nobody like you.
Right?
Yeah, Mr. Tastebudz. Let me know.
But to be honest,
They call you all types of words, but they want to
genuinely,
know what the hell you gonna make. What you gonna make them?
I'm more of a reciprocating person, but when it comes to the food, like I come from my mom, like she always told me, I never do nothing to nobody food. I was in prison on the yard, and I was a chef. I still wouldn't do nothing to couch food. I really, you know what I'm saying? I despise who I despise, you know what I'm saying, for the safety of y'all show, because, you know what I mean, I'm a sincere, I don't care, but I still wouldn't do nothing to my worst enemy's food because it's something that I cherish. Now, if I was doing something else, making, you know what I'm saying, but the food, I still serve them the best.
Yeah.
Because then I know food is a way to get to the heart too.
I was gonna say that's how you kind of break them down, right?
Good, ain't nobody gonna hate me. You can't hate me after it's impossible.
Step out really quick. I know times were different, and maybe you can't speak to this, but you're our kind of historian here. Why did he stay in Boston so long
crazy.
with all of that heat?
Well, you know, back in the day, like they didn't have like the whole free agency thing, right? You basically had like lifetime contracts.
Okay.
And they were just going to keep him under their control because players didn't have a lot of rights. I mean, they were getting, like you said, the reason why going back to where we were talking about, kind of like touching on these new athletes, is like they're entitled because they have the money that they can basically say, well, I don't got to do this.
Yeah.
Like I can literally, if I'm really being real with it, if I'm coming from like the backwoods of the South and you really get my first contract is $20 million. Now, most people are like, damn, that's not a lot of money. $20 million contract from backwoods Mississippi, dude.
Sure,
and if I don't make another contract, I'm still good for life. And people are just looking at it like that. And you give these guys $100 million, then what do you think? There's the motivation. Sometimes you just gotta want to be great. Because now you got to where you're at right now. You got the money. You set up your whole family generationally, right?
Yep.
You got them generational money. Now, what you want to do with that? Do you want to be known for just a person that's got a lot of money, or you want to be known as a great in your sport, you know, in your craft? Like Mr. Tastebudz is doing stuff like, I'm telling you, man, I'm hearing, hearing gumbo and a burrito. That's like next level stuff. You know what I'm saying? We pushing the envelope right now. You know what I'm saying?
I didn't remix
everything.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we need to be talking about. That's how we need to be pushing forward. You know,
that passion.
Yeah,
just talking about that passion, like that you said that Bill had, because there's a lot of stuff that y'all telling me, like, because I'm big on sports. I stopped really watching basketball when Jordan. I was one of them. I wasn't just a bandwagon. Yes, I was Jordan. You know what I mean? So, like, that's what it was. Once he was gone, I'm not in the game.
Everyone liked
Jordan. I don't even exist in the game no more. Why would I play? You know what I'm saying? So it was like, but I always did sports, but I like those, like I said again, that take a lot. It still bothered me, like how much he had to go through, and he still was great though. He wasn't just a regular player. Right. He was great.
He still excelled.
Like you can't even take that kind of stuff and say, I'm gonna put it into motivation.
Right.
Bro, my house is on fire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then that contract,
I'm playing my heart out.
Them lifetime contracts, because it only makes sense, because if they put you in the contract, how you gonna get out of it back in that time?
Oh yeah, they have straight
like,
control.
Yeah, right. Die. Like so
any rights,
and he's still a great. Rest in peace.
And of course, Bill Russell specifically, they all paved the way for the millionaire players that are out today.
Sure, exactly.
They made it possible by working those summer jobs.
Yeah.
Without that, if they weren't willing to do that, there'd
actually
be
being plumbers with themselves, being plumbers.
Yep.
Literally going out there. And it's funny thing, I know what he's saying that as a diss, but it's like almost like, do you know how hard being a plumber is?
Oh, yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you playing games right now? Like,
it's so unfathomable.
Yeah,
so
like
these days and age we laugh at stuff
like
tends to like bother you. You like what? You a plumber, then you went to practice, and they tried to beat him up.
Yeah, come on,
like,
dude.
Come on,
stop it.
It's all crazy.
Yeah, it was way harder back then. Because they didn't have private planes. You know what I'm saying? They was on commercial.
Yeah, there were chartered planes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Cramped up in there.
You
know what I'm saying? 6'9" ass.
Yeah, they didn't have special. They didn't have special beds or anything. Feet hanging off.
Feet hanging off.
Even shoes.
Bro. You got the worst treatment because they didn't see you technically as human.
No,
right. So imagine they like, oh yeah, you the best basketball player ever. You ain't got no blanket. You in the back of the truck and have it. You know what I'm saying? You get there like, and yet, go play the game.
And yet,
that's sad.
11 titles,
dude. Great. Smashing old Chamberlain too. Forget that. Don't forget that.
Man,
it wasn't like he got to the finals. He was like, whoo, I got to the finals. He was smashing on Chamberlain like yearly. It was like the Bill Russell Invitational.
Yeah,
like, come on, come over here. Let me go ahead and show this.
They know
this showcase. Let me go ahead and win this ring real quick.
Exactly.
And they were playing against some Hall of Fame. Look,
You know what I'm saying, dog?
we're going to talk about this after half the break, man. But they were a Hall of Famer team he was beat, right? I mean, was Jerry West over there? Was Elton Baylor over there?
Yep,
Was,
yeah.
you know, they were Hall
Will
of Famers.
Chamberlain over there,
Will
yeah.
Chamberlain, like, you know what I'm saying?
They were teams built to beat them,
right.
Yeah.
and they couldn't do
They
it.
couldn't do it.
Smashing them.
And they couldn't do it, even
Yeah.
with those difficulties, guys. We're going to get into Mr. Tastebudz here really quick. We're going to take a break. I know we're at 25, but we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Don't go anywhere. Thank you very much. Be sure to visit the Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center for all your 420 needs. They have everything from baby Jeters to Stizzy cartridges, fuzzies, pre-rolls, great deals on eighths, raw garden diamonds. They have your gear. They have Papa and Barkley relief patches. After a hard workout, you need those CBDs. You know that. They have plenty of edibles to choose from. Be sure to hit up the Pure Life Alternative Wellness Center. United One Protection Services. With over 30 years of experience, United One Protection Services has more expertise and knowledge than the other security companies combined. Residential, commercial, municipal, or institutional, United One Protection Services does more than just security. We protect your livelihood. United One Protection Services. Thank you for sticking around. We're back. Of course, the Profanity Nation podcast, voice of the professional fan.
Yes, sir.
Mike, please.
Yeah, so, I want to get more into that whole Plummer comment. I'm not sure if you guys heard about Step. Did you hear what Jerry West was saying? They asked him, what did he think about
yes.
JJ Redick? And basically, in a nutshell, if you guys didn't see the comment, Jerry West said that he's not a Hall of Famer in any in this year, in
What
this
is he
era,
doing?
versus back then. And that's why, it didn't really make sense for him to be talking about an era that he wouldn't have been able to be a Hall of Famer in any era as well.
Any era.
In any era, right?
He's a role player.
His own
as well.
then.
And to the conversation that came up, I was talking to Fredo about this. He was talking about, he's talking about Cousy. I said, yeah, but if he's talking about Cousy, that means that made Jerry West the plumber.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
So,
Right.
Played against.
that's who Cousy played against, right?
Right.
So I like what Jerry West was saying about it, because he kind of was putting them down nice and easy.
That's actually something, too, because Jerry West has kind of come out as a sourpuss.
Yeah.
To say it. So the fact that he handled that.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that, because the thing about what Jerry West was saying was, and my whole point then, back then, there was way more fundamental than they are now, right? So,
Right.
That dude, what could JJ Redick, he was good, he could shoot threes.
Yeah.
But how many threes would they got off back then?
None,
First of all,
because
there were no 3-point line.
None.
Right.
There were no 3-point
So now
shots.
there's
Right.
2 points.
So
But
the
at the
whole,
same time-
you got to be a whole game. You got to be all good.
Yeah, so he probably wouldn't even have made the league back then,
Right.
because they didn't have specialty players back then.
Right.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this stat. And Tastebudz, please. Does it matter that JJ Redick isn't a Hall of Famer? Can he still say those comments? Does he have to be up here, upper echelon, in order to comment?
Okay, so
Like, is there a level that you have to get to, legend status, before you're allowed to talk about other
I think
people?
you have to be at least in Hall of Fame to be able to talk about another era
An Hall of
as
Famers.
if like you would have been that guy in that era. And we know that's not the case. Like Money was talking about. Like, first of all, all Jerry West has to do is get the same conditioning and the same training and the same stuff that JJ Redick got, and Jerry West would have bust that ass in this era, because that's the only thing that's separating these eras that we're talking about. We're just talking about technology. We're talking about the training regimens. We're talking about all of this stuff, the science that they didn't have back then, they got now. And they've all been, remember,
not to mention
year.
a whole summer off to train.
Right.
They didn't have to be a plumber in the summers. They had all summer to train and practice.
And
JJ Redick only has to practice 3-point shots because that's all he did ever.
That is it, dude. And we're talking about the kind of money that they have, that they're going to be, like you said, they're taking charter planes now. They're even talking
luxury
about
hotels.
Luxury hotels. You know what I'm saying? Like
they go from a mansion to a luxury hotel back to their mansion.
Fools are flying back in the 60s on Pan Am
and a chartered beautiful bus.
You know what I'm talking about? Like they're not getting all of that shit. Is all part of the whole thing, and you can't compare that. So yeah, sorry, but I do know this: if your only specialty is to shoot the ball, do you shoot the ball better than Jerry West? No one in the history of the game is going to say that JJ Redick shoot the ball better than Jerry West. So you need to sit down now, because you're not even on his level. So how are you going to talk about anything if you ain't even on Jerry West's level? Like, seriously, who are you talking about?
Tastebudz, you agree with that? You have to kind of be on that level to speak about it.
It's really simply said. It's like you have to be a GOAT to talk about a GOAT. Like,
that's fair.
You know what I'm saying? That's simply said, because it's like perfect example. I would say you got like Shaq, right? Yeah. Okay, so Shaq and Kobe. They're two different eras. I mean, legends in their own right.
Absolutely.
So most people like Kobe is this over Shaq, though. You get what I'm saying? Just the way it is. But Shaq couldn't dare go talk about Jordan. You get what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have to be like that person in order to be able to, and that's in any genre of anything. So especially in sports, like you can't beat me. You know what I'm saying? That's what it goes to. You can't beat me. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're talking about. They still can't beat Jordan.
Mike,
you know what I mean? Type stuff.
Money Mike, is JJ Redick credible? Sure. Is he even worth listening to?
Man, look, no, he's listen, I think JJ Redick did what he
bad
did
timing, by
best.
the way. Yes. For him to say that about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and then the legend passes away.
Yeah,
really bad timing.
But here's the thing, though. Everybody right now, obviously, this is the reason why we have a podcast, right?
Yep.
So that way we can go ahead and express our views and all that stuff. But when you express your views that are not valid, or people feel that are not valid, then you cannot get upset about people disagreeing with what you're saying, right? And so when you are in the league, I think that there's a certain type of fraternity that you should be in, and you can give your opinions about players, but you shouldn't be putting them down.
Thank you. And that's the disrespect that was in that comment right there. Yeah. It could be somebody else, but the fact that that's those comments, and I think I'm agreeing with you, man. It was laced with some disrespect in it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he was trying to big up the era. He was really trying to put it down and say.
I don't think a Shaq, a Kobe, a Jordan would ever do that.
No, I think
they know their place,
right?
And they're also
that's what I mean.
Thankful.
Yes,
that for the Bill Russells, the Jerry West, and all these players who took the hits for this league before they were making money.
Yes,
yeah, and that honestly is the biggest thing. That honestly is the biggest thing. Like,
it's ignorance.
You need. Here's my thing. If I'm in the league right now, I need LeBron to make $40 million. You know why I need LeBron to make $40 million?
Exactly.
So I can make 5.
Yeah.
Right. Because see, if LeBron made 20, now I'm making 1.
Yep.
Right. So I need the numbers to be where they are for the superstars. Right. They what JJ Redick he needed those 1960 era basketball.
Yeah.
So that way, that league could start. So that way it could be able to grow in the 80s, get as big as it is. So that way he can make $12 million, but he's making $12 million a year just doing one major skill on the backs of Bob Cousy, Jerry West, Bill Russell, and players like that.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. They laid the groundwork. They paved the golden road for him.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on. I so want to talk to our guest here, Mr. Tastebudz. Okay, so we're talking about overcoming odds, persevering, pushing on, passion. I think all of those describe your story. A little bit about, what you told us. If you could, please, when did you, let's ask you this. When did you kind of first fall in love with cooking? And how did that come about?
So, me, I always got a story for everything. But so it all started with my mom. Like I said, I used to be in the kitchen watching her cook. And I was the kid that used to steal food. My mom used to have to pee all the time. You know, we black young. Like, go time. You know what I'm saying? I'm right here. We got it all set up. As soon as my mom go pee, I'm in it. I'm in the macaroni and cheese. I'm eating it. I'm trying to fix it back. I done got a wing in my pocket. She come back. I'm right where I'm watching. I'm watching because the food was so good. My mom cooked so good that you had to steal it. Other people come, they be scared. I was the only one that was bold. So it really started from me watching my mom, and because my mom throw down. And
so just the love of so right off the bat, you appreciated the food, quality and food because your mom taught you that, and you appreciated it, you loved it, and it made you feel good.
Yeah, I never eat at nobody's house.
You didn't have
my mom, because it was quality over quantity.
There it is.
They give me this big plate with all this food. I'm not hungry. My stomach be growling at people's house. Since I was little, to this day, they're like, "You hungry?" I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I just ate." You know what I'm saying? You came in and you tried to offer me a wing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
yeah.
It's just something that, because my mom always put care into it. So if I don't know you care, that's why I like In-N-Out. I can see what y'all doing back there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't eat a lot of other places, and I don't. But the
you see the love.
Food, yeah, you got. When I cook food, I want you to eat. People, when I first started, they was dancing. Like, can you imagine that feeling? Like, I feed you my plate and you over there like, I'm like, I knew it was good, but I didn't know it was like that.
Right, make it move. Huh?
You liked it.
Yeah.
But when other people.
That's what made it crazy, because everything I make come from what I eat. I only put out what I eat. So when I make it and you like, no, this is great. I'm like, oh, that was cool. And I started to learn that I could keep going higher and higher. And that's what I'm like on right now. Keep creating and creating. I want to stop. I can't.
All right. Now there's more to your story. You have spent some time in the service. You have made some mistakes.
For sure.
And one of those mistakes sent you away for a little while. We don't mind talking about that, correct?
4 years.
4 years. Okay. Yeah. When you were there, you told us a story. You started cooking in prison, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Tell us that story a little bit.
So, okay, like to basically cut the legs off of me to keep it short, like my boy Black says. So I got to the yard on the prison. I had already been like in the dorms in the cells making food, right? So I ended up getting lucky enough that I ended up going to fire camp. So in fire camp, that's all they tell you: eat big, you eat big, you eat big. At this time, I don't even care about being a chef. I'm really trying to just get home, because I have finally got like a concept. Like, I want to be Mr. Tastebudz, and I wanted to do something right, because I have been doing.
You had a direction.
Yeah, finally I had the light. You know what I'm saying? Glory to God. So I'm like, I go to there. They need a chef. So everybody in the yard like, go try the kitchen, the best job. I'm like, man, I don't care. They call me personally. See, and I don't know if y'all know, but in prison, for them to call you to the office is not good. Like, it don't even look good.
Mr. Tastebudz, please come to the office.
I here, bro. I'm here like 2 weeks. They're like, hey, Paxton, come down to the. I'm like, I'm looking at everybody in here. They don't even know me. I'm like, what? They like, we don't know. Like, bro, right? Like, they think I'm telling or something.
Yeah.
I think I'm telling. I'm like, why is they going? So I get down there. They like, hey, you cook? I'm like, I don't know. I'm really solid, bro. Like, I didn't walk the yards. All I prove it. You know what I'm saying? And I don't say it for the glorification. It's just, I've been through some shit. You gotta say you solid, because you haven't did this. You know what I mean? So I get down there. I'm like, nah, I don't cook. He like, do you cook or not, man? Quit fucking around. I'm like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why? And I still on phone. He like, stop fucking. I'm like, yeah, man, I cook. He like, well, we need to cook. Boom, boom, boom. Long story short, I end up cooking. They had like some important people coming that time, and it just happened. The chef was out. My first meal, I think I cooked. They like thinking I'm mediocre, because most people in prison or anywhere, they can't cook.
No,
they just got a position and they got a recipe and they tell you to make it. So everybody thinking we eating bullshit because it's jail. It's just really the cooks. I get there, they open the freezer. I'm like, oh shit.
There's food in here. How come I never had this?
It ain't bread and water, man. I thought it was bread and water.
I can create meals from nothing. Like, so you'll look in the refrigerator, see baking soda, flour, and the egg, and say, oh, ain't nothing here. I'm like, man, we could eat a cake. We could make biscuits. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. So I start creating. The first meal I did a mac and cheese with a broccoli and cheese, with a fried chicken and a barbecue sauce with some cream corn. The cops, it was over. Like that. The first meal I made, the chef came back. They made him my sous chef. He didn't like that.
No. Oh well,
you learned from him.
Yeah, it's still prison, by the way. Yeah. But it's a little different. It ain't that I took the job. It's like, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, it's
right.
Like, whatever. And everybody they like, nah, you gotta leave him alone, bro. We ain't ate like
right.
years. I got
so you're protected.
For sure. I got life is coming down. Like, bro, leave him alone.
Yeah.
Fix that corn. People was crying. They ate fried chicken. They do not make you fried chicken in jail. I don't know what it is. They need to. since we on this podcast, I hope somebody said make more fried chicken for my niggas, man.
Well, you know
For
what?
real.
We really like fried-
Food is a
it's
path
something
to the
about-
soul, and it
it's-
makes you
I
feel
swear,
good. It can.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely
never
right.
seen nobody angry after food. I don't care. He a killer. Feed him. It might be people you need to feed him, but if you feed him, you know what I'm saying?
He gotta go.
Depends on his diet, right?
Exactly.
Sure.
All right. So you're cooking down in prison. You get out. You decide. You already know this is what you want to. Now, hang on. There's one other story I want to address. Your logo.
I was just gonna tell you.
Please go.
Because I won't let nobody. Because my logo, it was so crazy. Because this is reception. This is before I get to the yard, start cooking and everything. I was already cooking on the street. I got like shot at in my yard, so I stopped because I'm like, man, I ain't finna do that. I had got a weapon first.
Sounds like Bill Russell,
I'm
by
gonna
the way.
protect myself.
He's cooking for people and people shooting at him.
Right,
No,
what?
right? Kind of
True
Bill
story.
Russell stuff.
That's why I'm gonna be
But
the
you
goat.
persevered.
I'm gonna be the goat for
Damn
sure.
straight.
said
I love
with
it.
my heart, but it's like, so we in the yard. They shoot at me. I'm like, man, I gotta stop. I'm at my mom's house. They literally try to gun me down, like jump out the car, try to gun me down. So I'm like,
Yikes.
man, it's out. You know what I'm saying? I come from the hood for real. I'm like, bro, I ain't stupid. So I took off, you know what I'm saying? So I ended up going through a lot of stuff. Pops passed, little brother get killed. I go crazy, lose my family. I just ended up in prison. So when I'm in reception, I get there, it's this dude named Compton Joe. Shout out to Compton Joe. I just ran into it too, I'll tell you that. But he was in there and he's drawing, but he came in there, he's like kind of a bummy dude, you know, come off the street. But I'm like, bro, what you doing? Because I always had a talent to see people. So he's drawing on his bunk. I'm like, bro, do you know you can make a gang of money in this dorm if you can draw? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the blacks and the Mexicans, they got the thing in jail. You got to pay or you can't eat open. All these rules and stuff, I ain't got to speak on whatever. They know what it is. But I'm like, man, can you draw me a logo? He's like, what you want? Because I had already made him money and all that. I'm getting him to draw stuff and I'm giving it to the people and then I'm paying him. Like, so we got a whole look and I'm winning too, though. You know? So finally I tell him, I'm like, man, draw me a logo. He's like, what you want? I was like, man, I want it to be like the Wiener Schnitzel, man. But I want his body to be a tongue, his hair to be a taste bud, a fireball. He did just like this. And I still have it. He drew it on the back of the Title 15.
The original.
The Title 15 is the first drawing of Mr. Tastebudz. It's still on the back of the Title 15 now in prison because the hard copy worth something in there. When you tear off that hard piece, because they ain't got all flimsy paper, you can send those home and stuff. So he did it on there. And I was walking through every yard, everywhere I went. I'm like, I'm gonna be Mr. Tastebudz. And I'm in prison, they laughing like Tastebudz and calling me all kinds. I'm like, Mr. Tastebudz, I'll beat you up. I'm Mr. Tastebudz, you know what I'm saying? And I came up with the logo and I just knew that it was it.
Nice, man.
That's fucking sweet. Okay. So now you're out and you've decided you're gonna do this. This is your dream. This is your passion. You've loved it your whole life. You've loved food. You see that as the path to people's hearts and to make them happy. So where did that lead what you're doing now?
Okay, so my whole goal was to like feed everybody because I had just so much. Like I always had a lot of energy, but I never had a way to like really release it. Like art, like I talked a lot. You know what I'm saying? My whole life like that. Then it's like, no, you could be a marketing manager. I'm like, okay, so I can release stuff through other ways. It's all about how you see it. You know what I'm saying? So I started to learn that and I practiced that. Being in prison helped me. I sat down, I started to focus, read some books. And I'm like, okay, so what can I do? You're already cooking. You got the logo. Duh. You know what I'm saying? It was just, oh God, it's like, you got the path, bro. You don't see it. So when I came home, I'm like, I'm gonna be serious. No days off. I'm not playing. To this day, they see me and they know. I'm like, I'm not playing. I came home. I was on 103rd and Avalon, actually where I parked the truck at.
Right.
Now on 103rd and Avalon, because that's where I started. I actually started out my yard. We got shot at.
Yeah.
Came on the street because when I came home, it was kind of like a new opening because, you know, I'm from the streets for real. So we don't just stand out in the open. I don't care what you're doing. That's why there's not a lot of black vendors. And that's why we're trying to promote some safe areas for us to cook. Because, you know how it is. You're from the streets. I'm not going to stand out here and cook. I already got shot at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I just said, I was like, forget it, God. If I'm going to die out here, I'm going to die about doing something I believe in.
Doing something you love and helping people.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, so right now you're cooking on
103rd and Avalon.
103rd and Avalon. All right. Let's get into some of your goodies, okay? Because I don't think anybody knows. Anyone who has, if you haven't been there, 103rd and Avalon, y'all got to go check out Mr. Tastebudz. All right.
Tastebudz. Mr. Tastebudz, BUDZ. Check me out.
That's right.
Tastebudz.
That's right.
Can't wait, though.
Take us through some of the most popular dishes you're making.
Okay, where do I start, man? I make so much food. Right now, what's really popular is the gumbo burrito. I just dropped a gumbo
Which is just
burrito.
outrageous. Already,
that's what's
like,
going to happen
damn.
right now. That's going to
And
happen.
it's fried. It's fried. The burrito is fried.
Bro, that's just going to happen like soon.
And it comes with an actual, it's not a consomme because, you know, I actually went to school to be a chef too. As I made the news twice since I've been home in 3 years. All of this stuff. I don't like good gloat, but it's part of the story. Like, I was proud of myself. I came from prison and like the next 2 months I was on the news.
Should
They
be.
was like, oh yeah, because I scored the highest score in my school. They was about to kick me out of school. 'Cause I came 2 weeks late, joining the class. They about to kick me out.
Culinary.
Culinary class. So at Trade Tech. So I was going through like an advanced class. So when I got there, the teacher was like a real like a-hole. And I ain't shout out to him. He was cool, but he couldn't teach me. But I didn't know that. He was just like, when he tried to teach me something, I listened, I learned, but I execute so perfectly. He told me work on perfection. Bro, I'm actually smart too. I felt like I went back to slavery. Work on perfection. What that means? Stay out your way. You gotta be repetitive and assert. You know what I'm saying? You can use all these words. I'm not dumb. You know what I'm saying? So when the news came, he like, yeah, no, this is my favorite boy. And I'm like, bro.
He didn't call you boy though.
I
don't know.
So all of a sudden,
But it
he's
felt like
Boston
that.
50.
It felt
All of a
like
sudden,
that.
he's Boston 50 years later.
You know what I'm saying?
You're
Like,
getting the love, and now all of a sudden,
My house on fire.
I always knew. I always knew he was the one.
For real.
right. Switch up is real.
Yeah. So after school, I went because I got tired of people like undermining me, like, oh no, you're a cook, good cook. They eat my food like you're a great cook. I'm like, bro, I'm a chef. So I went to school, but as far as that, I got like the gumbo burrito. Like I said, that comes with the actual roux. So I make a side roux, and it comes in a cup. So you grab the burrito that's fried with shrimp, with your chicken, with your sausage, and it's all cooked in the roux first. So now the burrito tastes like straight gumbo, cheese, rice, and you dip it in the roux.
His mouth watering, right, man?
He's
so happy. Look at
It's
that,
gonna be
so
cracking. Dog. It's gonna be cracking, dog. I'm
fried crab,
fried lobsters, crab,
fried chicken sandwiches. I also make a shebang sauce that we're really known for.
Okay,
so it's a garlic sauce for crab boils. My sauce is the best in the city. If they think it's not, I'll sell you a bottle. You know what I mean? And if you don't like it, I'll give anybody their money back. To this day, I haven't had no bad reviews on my truck, no reviews, nothing. I will give you your money back if you don't like it. Most people just want me to redo it. I'm with that.
Now, all your recipes are developed by you. Just like you said, just from what you love. You're not sitting here thinking, damn, I need to sell something big. What do they want? The people want. You're thinking, what do I love? And it appears that is in tune with what everyone else is loving.
That's what makes it crazy.
Right?
I got chill bumps when you said that because it's really weird because people could ask, like, I've never been in a position to fill this position. You know what I'm saying? Just honestly, I'm from South Central LA for real.
Yeah.
I always knew I was gonna be something, but I wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
You feel me? Just real talk. Like, you see the story, but it was like, it's crazy. Like, if I'm like, man, I want a cheeseburger with bacon, with shrimp. I thought anybody could make that. See, that's where the problem became.
Yeah.
That's where I learned that I was different.
You thought it was easy.
Yeah, because I'll make something in 10 minutes right now, a whole meal. I tell everybody all the time, we in the woods, we stuck. If the engine crank up, I'll make breakfast in the morning. It don't matter what it is. You give me fire, I could create food. It's just like that. Like, it's a talent.
Let me ask you this. A lot of people, sorry if I'm monopolying, Mike, when you're coming. A lot of people who that talents come naturally sometimes have a hard time teaching or coaching. Do you have a hard time teaching your cooking skills to assistants or anything? You love it. Okay, great.
I was always a person that didn't listen, so it made it easy for me to teach people that don't listen. So.
You're like, no, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
You know how to get them.
Stupid too. Yeah, we can keep arguing, and then I'll teach you. Like, it's cool. I had to learn to deal with people because it's just, I love people. Period. Everybody got some good in them, whether they don't want to believe it or not.
Yeah, but that's probably the hardest thing though, because I'm gonna tell you, man, I've gone to couple of restaurants, and one time, like, it's a long story, I'm gonna try to make it short. I went there, I ordered something, it wasn't ready. I'm talking to the lady on the phone, she talking to the owner, and everything that the lady is telling me, like, she's telling the owner the stuff and she's relaying the message, and everything the woman is telling me, I'm just getting more and more pissed off, right? Hour later, the owner actually calls me. She says, I heard what she told you, and that's not what I told her. Yeah. Right. And so what I told her was, look, that's the problem. You got to worry about the people that you hire, because the people that you hire are the ones that's going to tear your business down.
They depict you.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
They represent you.
So that's probably a really, really hard thing, because you need to be able to have your gumbo burrito and everything prepared as if you were there all the time, but obviously you're not. You're not there. So how do you go and find the people? How many people you got to fire? You know, I want to know that. Like, how many? You know what I mean? Because see, that's the hardest part of me.
Smiley, by the way.
That's right, Smiley.
I had a lot of people come in.
He was going to try to be here today. We'll get him next time.
He real dedicated. He does a lot of stuff he learns, and that's the biggest thing. So, how many people I get rid of? A lot. Because let me tell you, the biggest thing I've learned in business, like with me, is because everybody has a dream. But when you come work for somebody, you don't live your dream. You can't live your dream on my time. I respect your dream. You might as well go ahead and do it. And it's nothing personal, but it's just something in business that anybody that's doing business, I would tell them you have to learn. Yeah, you my friend, we cool. I believe in what you're doing, but I believe in what I'm doing too. So you can't come in here. I'm like, yeah, make this gumbo burrito. You tell me I'm gonna add this. No, sit down. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to do that, make your own recipe and go sell it. Yep. I'll support you still. But don't do that on our time, because we give the people what they want, what we putting out, what they like. And if I made it like that, I'm gonna keep it like that.
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
Right. Yeah, because to me, I think that's the hardest thing about like little businesses and stuff like that. I'm like, man, dude,
somebody can always do better than you. That's what they feel. You know.
Oh, they always say, well, because they see they happen as a business owner, long time business. They see that you're, and they think it's easy. They go, oh, look, because you're seasoned. You've done it. Right. So they think it's easy, but then they go out there and they usually fall. And like you said, we all know. We're all here. We're all, in a sense, we're doing a show, right? We're doing a podcast. We're following dreams. We're following our passions, right? Yeah. But you know that anyone who works for you, that's like you said, that's not their dream. So you can only get so much out of them. But you do expect, compliance with what you're trying to do.
You have to, because it's like they call me boss. I always tell all of them, I don't call me boss. Because to me, when I was working for people, boss is like bitch ass. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know what I'm saying? Because you're like, all right, boss. Like, you know what I'm saying? So to me, I'm like, nah, bro. I'm not like your friend. Right. I stop playing that with people. I'm not your friend because I can't be. Yeah. I want to be your friend so bad. Right. But I watch it. You're gonna watch it dwindle down as soon as you start being friendly. Oh yeah, it's okay. You're late today. No, it's okay. Yeah, your car blew up. Okay, for sure. I start getting those from people. So and you can ask them. I start getting real serious. Like, no, you can't just. Yeah, it's nothing personal, you know what I mean? But
well, you're counting on people.
Exactly.
When you count on people, you got to follow through.
Yeah,
you got to follow through.
I was a great worker. To this day, I am. You put me to work, I work.
I mean, look,
10 times hard.
Look, I know you're a Jordan fan, but I want you to understand that's why Kobe didn't pass the ball to nobody. There was the interview. There was the interview. They interviewed Phil Handy. Phil Handy is like one of the coaches of the Lakers, like right now, and they asked him about Kobe. And Kobe said, the reason why I don't pass the ball is because I see all the players coming in here on time and leaving early. He said, I don't trust them.
They don't work out as hard as me.
I don't trust them.
And in the food business, I'm the same way. All the people that do food, and the shout out to them in their own rights. And I genuinely feel like this. I ain't never hated on no food business ever, except for like McDonald's.
Well, you've never tasted them.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't eat out.
I haven't eaten anybody food on the food truck. Oh, Nacho Taco. Shout out to him too.
Cool.
Yeah, because I did try, because I watched him when he was coming up. So I had to go my presence to show my support. You know what I mean? So I did go over there. Yeah. But I don't eat their food just because so they can't think I ever had an opinion about it. I'm not calling your food salty. I'm not calling your food nasty. I never ate it. So I can't, the people talk and I let them talk. It has nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? So
I'm curious. Food trucks are the rage. They're out there, at least all over Los Angeles. I believe all over the country, wherever you're watching. But food trucks are the rage. You can get niche foods that you're just not going to find in restaurants. You're going to get quality food. We used to think the Roach Coach, those are still out there, but that's not what the case is. These are professional, top of the line restaurants on wheels.
They're going gourmet.
Gourmet. Some of them are gourmet. And some of them have higher ratings than a lot of the restaurants out here. But my question is this: is it competitive? You support your peers. Do they support you as much? Is it competitive, or is it that's my corner? Get the heck out! Or what if another truck pulls up behind you, completely different food?
It's a gang meeting.
All right. That ain't happening.
The leaders come talk. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's just real, like, not to be like that, because I always be in real perspective, because I'm an honest person. So maybe I could just see it like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't never really see competition. So anytime I pull up, we happy to meet them.
Bring it on.
Yeah, come on. Stop playing with me. Like, come on.
Bring it on.
Really challenge.
They're not a challenge. Exactly. You're not threatened by it.
I see a lot of chefs that's good. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not stopping none of that. But I'm like, if you want to shoot for the shot, then shoot for the shot. Because I can do this. I keep creating. They see it. It's been 3 years, bro. Right. Stop creating. That's crazy. And I sold it all on the truck, too. I tell them. They always be like, oh, my mom gumbo probably this. They never say it's better now, because that's how I know. It's certain levels to think. I have people cry like, like, man, they from the South for real. Like, you know what
They
I mean?
haven't had
Those
the
things, you
flavors
can't
in a long
fake
time.
these emotions. You get what I'm saying? But
That's how real food is. Isn't that
Yeah,
awesome? How many other things do that?
Nothing.
I mean, maybe
Nothing.
Just music.
maybe the
music.
closest. I was gonna say music is the closest.
Music and movies.
Exact-
Art. The
that-
arts do it. Back
I would
then.
say
music sets moves.
music you can hear and it brings you right back.
Yes.
Food you can smell or taste and it brings you right
Yes.
back to your
Yes.
mom's kitchen
Yes.
or your auntie or your
The difference
grandma's.
too, though,
Yes.
with food, it's like a gathering too. Say if I had a lot of food, I don't care who was around. You might feel like that because we're
Right.
like that, but you'd be like, have some. You
Yeah,
hungry? You
exactly.
hungry? And food is like that.
Right.
Music, you like, I'm
It's very
in my
private.
zone.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? But
yep.
food
Right.
is like universal. If it's people
It is
starving in
it
other
is a universal
countries,
language.
Definitely.
I
That
pull
is
out a
true.
banana if you're hungry. If
You're gonna
not,
eat.
you know what
That's
I'm saying?
true.
We just
Definitely.
talk.
It doesn't matter where
The
you are. You
offer was
cook
good
you cook
enough.
that gumbo
Yeah.
burrito. It doesn't matter where in the world you are.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
But
like
you
that.
play a song, they
I
may
used
not
to
have heard it in
'cause
English.
where I
Right.
come from, you know, I'm like, I go to the white people, they love it. I'll serve it to the black people, they love it. I go to the Mexicans, I make a Mexican corner. But they call it black corn on my truck. Cause everybody like, it ain't Mexican, it's black. Because I don't use mayo. I don't eat
Okay.
mayo.
Uh-huh,
So I use my shebang sauce. It's dipped in shebang sauce with the usual fixings.
Yeah.
So when you taste it, it has the whole garlic, butter, and then it's the sweet corn with the Parmesan, with the feta, the coda mixed with Parmesan. So, and I'm really detailed with the food. I'm really a spices person. Like I'm in here like a little of this, a little of that, a little of this. So by the time you taste it, it's great because you're not getting spices from McDonald's. You're
Right.
getting meat with
You're
seasoning.
getting
sauce.
bland.
This
I
has
mean, come on.
oregano.
Most places
basil,
are bland.
These
You know what I'm
things,
saying?
like,
Yeah,
Well,
real
they're trying to
spices.
appeal to the masses and the kids. We all know that. All these fast food places and
Yeah.
even any chain restaurant really is
food for
along
the
that.
soul.
Yep.
I love it.
It's real, and
I
it's real.
love it.
People use that term lightly. At your mom's house when you eating, like you said, when I could take you back, like I even serve Kool-Aid. It's the only drink I serve on my. It's not just because I'm black. It is 'cause I'm black.
Yeah, well,
It's because it's hard to make real good Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
So it's levels to this. That's why.
Hey,
I'm
dude,
taste
that
buds.
sugar, the
I was
water
gonna-
ratio.
I was gonna say you brought up the Kool-Aid, man. I went to
Ugh.
we used to have a sponsor here, Sal's Gumbo Shack,
Yeah.
right? Sal's Gumbo Shack.
Tomato-
And I had to go there. She does chicken. It's a restaurant. And she has Kool-Aid. I told Mike
Yeah.
I went there. And I honestly, I've had Kool-Aid my whole life, but I've never had Kool-Aid
Kool-Aid.
for black people.
for black people. That might as well have been a melted Jolly Rancher. I mean, it was pure sugar. I was just like,
You ever
"Oh,
see House
I
Party?
didn't expect it. Until you taste it, you don't know,
Yeah,
man.
see, but and that's another thing too that I kind of got into. It's like a stigma with Kool-Aid. I don't think they should quote me on that. It's a stigma with Kool-Aid.
Hey, man.
Because they say Kool-Aid is supposed to be sugary. It kind of is, but it's supposed to have Kool-Aid flavor at the end of that sugar.
Yeah.
People don't do that. See, when you're drinking it, you like, it's sugar, sugar, sugar. When you finish, you like, ooh, sugar. You like, it's good though. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But no, you need to taste Kool-Aid. It has to have a mixture. So at the end, your palate is left with Kool-Aid and not sugar, not diabetes. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, we all got to watch our health here.
Man.
Hey, so
I'm getting
so
it
now,
on.
so challenge to you. You got to go to Taste
Oh yeah,
Bud
I'll taste it.
and taste this Kool-Aid.
Hey.
Absolutely.
I want some Kool-Aid.
Dude.
I'd swear we could take the Kool-Aid from Sal's and just put it on some ice, and you've got a snow cone.
I mean, if you
It's
stir
that
it,
thick, it's like
if you
syrup.
stir in the pitcher and you don't hear it crunching, like
It ain't Kool-Aid.
you know what I'm saying? You don't hear
Kool-Aid,
that.
Mine do it every time. Then you start
Yeah.
smelling it.
You know what it is.
But you gotta like with me, it's just like you said, it's a ratio for it. Like I heard all these remedies, people like I use hot water, and I actually tried it before.
Hot water.
Well, because they think it dissolves it.
It dissolves
Yeah, I
it.
know.
But
Yeah.
with me,
Damn that.
you gotta stir 15,000 times. That's what makes Kool-Aid. I'm
That's
there
it. Yeah,
like,
it's
That's what I'm
Get it off
saying.
the
No.
ground.
nothing
Like,
replaces
dude,
elbow
that first
grease
stir.
and love.
and then you gotta scrape it because it
Yo,
goes stuck.
talk,
'cause you
man,
put too
talk
much
to
at
him.
once.
Talk to him.
That's how you have Kool-Aid, bro.
Talk
That's
to
why
him.
they love my food because I'm really this serious. You see me in the kitchen, I'm like, I'm really this happy. I create something. I didn't start dancing, clapping. Like I'm like, watch this. Try it. I'll let you try it 3 times. I could change the flavor all 3 times.
That's awesome.
That's hilarious.
That is awesome. An hour's gone by so quick. We're
I know,
towards the
right?
end of our show. Amazing, right? It wasn't bad at all, man.
I appreciate that.
We always finish our show here, the Profanity Nation, with a segment we call Money Mike's Out of Bounds.
Get him.
Money Mike's going to share his thoughts or opinions on a topic, and he just wants to know if his thoughts are in bounds or out of bounds.
I like that. I like
Money
that.
Mike,
All right,
you got the mic.
all right.
All right, yo. Mic check.
Here we go.
Yo.
The thing on.
I want to make sure that y'all know I never hate on LeBron.
Man, dude.
I'm
that's
never
cap.
hating on LeBron, but I gotta ask this, y'all. I gotta ask you. So for about a month and a half, I've been on Facebook and Instagram, mainly Facebook, and I see all these LeBron apologists on Facebook, giving me all these stats about why LeBron is the GOAT. And I've come to the conclusion that half the people that are LeBron apologists don't know basketball. Right? They just don't know basketball because they're bringing up comparisons to Michael Jordan and LeBron having numbers better than Michael Jordan. I'm like, yeah, that's because Michael Jordan only played 14 years in the league. If you play 5 more years above, then yeah, you're gonna have more points, more playoff, lead the league in playoffs, all time, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But dog, he was 6-0. He got an A+. Yes. You 4-11. You got to fail.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are we not talking about these types of things? So am I out of bounds for saying that half the people on Facebook that are LeBron apologists don't even know basketball? Because I'm looking at 5-7. I'm looking at 8-0, 11 rings. I'm looking at all these measures. And all y'all want to do is talk about stats that anybody can accumulate if they pay for 20 years, for example. Am I out of bounds for saying, hey, that they don't know what they're talking about?
100%. You can play for Mike. We can stick you out on that court and let you play 100 friggin' years, and you're not getting those stats. It's not happening. And yet alone, over the extent of your whole career of 20 years, it's not happening. So you're completely out of bounds.
No, wait a minute. Oh, wait. Okay.
Go for it. Go.
No, but here's the thing. Okay, Michael Jordan, right? He was number 2 in the all-time list. He only played 14 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only played 14. It took LeBron 18 to catch LeBron.
That's okay. It's what's
Jordan.
the shooting percentage? What do they maintain through? Those are it. Not
So
just
right
points.
now you have we're in a generation of statisticians or people that are like the stat nerds, and so that's what we're going against. You're going against the people that watched the game before and used to use the eyeball test like us, and then people that will use stats and will kind of like efficiency ratings and stuff like that to bolster whatever argument they're trying to say. I know though, by looking at when I measure a GOAT, I measure them by pressure situations. And when I see Jordan or Kobe or these guys that want the ball to shoot the ball and make these pressure shots, I don't see that from him. And that's what differentiates me from him. He could get all the points he wants. But when I know, like, just for example, we won a championship with him. Biggest shot in the game, biggest shot in the series against Miami, he passed the ball. I'm just putting it out there. He did do that. It wasn't like he didn't do that. He did that. That was that LeBron passed it to Danny Green. And Danny Green missed a shot. But he never took a big shot. AD made the 3-pointer for the game winner. What big shot that LeBron made in that championship run for the Lakers? He hasn't done that yet.
Forgive me.
No, don't
before
start.
we move on, who made the final 3-pointer in 2010?
Who? LeBron?
Artest,
yes.
Kobe passed him the ball.
Yes.
I don't hear anyone saying, but Kobe passed the ball.
But Kobe Bryant have taken shots and made shots.
Actually,
that's what I'm saying.
Actually, though,
so Kobe Bryant have made shots.
Hang on.
No, hold on. See,
let's let Money Mike
Kobe Bryant have made
answer
shots,
this
though.
question. Mike, who is the most clutch player in playoffs? Fourth quarter, game on the line. Who's the most clutch player in the playoffs ever? Who?
We going by
stats.
Who? Stats.
By the metrics.
Clutch player in the end of playoffs, round 2 or finals. Who?
He's going to be the most points.
First of all, here's the problem.
More?
This is the reason why.
He's probably going to be LeBron because he has more opportunities, and he's
56%.
Okay.
Kobe 23.
All right, but Kobe Bryant has taken a lot more harder shots than LeBron.
And let me ask you a question:
Is that LeBron's fault or Kobe for putting him in that?
So just real quick before we go on to another hour, because I can talk about this right now. But I'm just saying, if we're just going to go in there, I'll just throw it out there to you. And what shots can you give me 5 iconic LeBron James shots in his career? 5.
And he wasn't playing for us. So I didn't watch that closely.
Iconic. 5 shots that you know that he has made in his career clutch. His career.
I know when he was young,
20 years,
made that 3-pointer.
And you give me all the metrics, but I need 5. Before I even start having a conversation, I need to see him.
That's memorable?
Yes, because I could go ahead and give you Kobe Bryant.
But that's actually you watched him.
But I mean, we watched these are playoffs.
These
are playoffs.
Ori hit the big shot.
Okay, Kobe Bryant hit the shot against what? Against Phoenix Suns, right? Mike Brady.
He had him twice.
All right. The 2 shots against Portland. The offensive rebound that he put back against the Spurs. I mean, the shot that he made in game 2 against the Detroit Pistons, because that's the only game we won. Okay, not to mention, okay, so I got you right there. Those are 4 right now. I know. And I could go ahead and dig more into it.
I'm
not even talking about.
That's why we call him Stat Pat.
But yes, but I would assume, and maybe you can correct me, that had we been in Cleveland watching LeBron this whole time, you'd have those same games. You'd be able to say this one, but you weren't watching those games. We were watching Lakers. So there were games where those shots meant a lot to us and our team. So they felt big.
Of course.
Well, if you're a Cleveland fan, I'm sure they can name the 5. I can't because I didn't watch those games as much.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
Chime in?
Please,
go ahead.
Okay, see, because
inbounds or out of bounds?
I was about to say, because look, I'm gonna tell you, I'm probably one of them people that you probably talk about, because like I know sports, but of course they'll go to stats because that's what they can look up. Of course, they haven't seen the games, the generation, right? So I kind of agree with what y'all all saying in a little bit, and I'm serious because like what to make a GOAT to also, like what y'all saying, that separates LeBron to me. Because like I said, LeBron cool, but how many times has LeBron played like really, really hurt? Jordan like broke ankles.
Right, that's true.
Kobe had to switch hands.
No question.
Right,
he had to switch hands. That's what makes GOATs.
No question.
Not how you get fixed back up and they just put the stent in your leg and now you back and you could jump high. Jordan didn't play with broke ankles. Jordan, when he wore the ones, he broke his ankle and he kept playing. He had them tight so tight. He said when he took off his shoe, his ankles instantly blew up. He played the whole game through that, and he had like 61.
The hangover game.
But I'm saying stuff like that. Kobe really switched hands. He broke a finger. He broke his finger and had to literally learn to shoot with his opposite.
Exactly.
He did.
He played games like that and really scored. That's what make you different. Not how pretty you look, not these stats. That's what I'm saying. So I agree with you because you got the real grind.
You got a smart man right here.
You got the real grind.
You liked Mr. Tastebudz.
I love Mr. Tastebudz, man. But look, let me just say this though for my final point, and I think everybody can agree with this. If I had to tell you that I'm great, I'm not.
The people gonna.
If I had to demand respect, I don't. Then I don't need to get it. Right?
It was cheesy.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking the question.
I mean,
if I had to demand respect, right?
Yeah.
Because see, I need to be able just to walk in the room, and you need to give me respect because what you have seen, and you feel like I should get respect. I should never ask for respect. I should never ever have to tell you I am the GOAT.
It should just happen.
If you are begging somebody to give you these titles, then there's no way that you can be that.
Yeah, how LeBron's own team didn't like him. That's not.
I mean, I'm
serious though. I'm sorry.
That's just how I feel.
Kobe and Jordan and all them was loved by.
Look. Michael Jordan never asked for.
Michael
Jordan never asked for the respect to say call me the GOAT. People started calling him.
Yeah.
Jay West doesn't even like for people to call him the logo.
Right.
Kobe same way. He just said what he was gonna do and he did it.
Exactly.
Right. But there's only one player that's begging to be the GOAT. If there's somebody else begging me to go, let me know. I'm not hating. I'm just saying. I ain't hating. I'm just saying. Like, look, if you got to beg to be the GOAT, if you got to beg for respect, then therefore you not of that caliber.
Yeah.
You're not of that caliber. We just sat here in the first half talking about how great Bill Russell was.
Yep.
Yeah.
His character.
He ain't never said I'm great.
Hey, but get healthy, LeBron. We need a title.
Oh yeah. Hey, LeBron.
We need a title though.
Hey,
all bullshit aside, though.
I need
LeBron. I need to get ready.
All good.
Hard.
Money Mike said all these titles for us.
Wait a minute. LeBron said, and I quote last week that he is 100%.
Okay. Well, there's still
LeBron said he is 100%.
Well, can I get a quote from AD?
Yeah, that's the one we want.
That's the one I want. Can you be 100% AD?
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. That's the end of our time. We had a blast. I wish we had more, but we got to let you go. That's the end of this show today, but we will be back next week. Of course, this is the Profanity Nation. We are the voice, the professional fan.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Tastebudz. Please let everybody know the best way to keep up to date with what you got going on, Instagram or so forth. What's your Instagram address?
My Instagram is actually at Mr. Tastebudz, MrTastebudz. So Mr. Tastebudz.
There it is, right on the screen right now. Right on the screen. That's the best way to keep up to date. Find out the new foods that are coming on. And most importantly, be sure to watch out because on Vanity Studios channel, we're going to have the new show, Mr. Tastebudz. You're going to hear more, see more. You're going to love it, and you're going to get really effing hungry. All right. For Stat Pat, Money Mike, I am Simsta. Thank you, guys. Join us next week. We'll see you then. Until then, be safe. Thank you.
Peace.
Peace.